Hi, good morning. Welcome to day 43 of my Munro challenge. Today I'm walking route number 43. Ben Alligan. Not sure whether I've been looking forward to this one or frightened of this one. The Mountain of Beauty. So there's two Munros and Ben Alligan. There's Tom Gruagaich, which is the Hill of the Damsel, and another Sgurr, which is the big peak. Then there's also the Horns to contend with or not. That's a decision I'm going to make when I get up to the top. Guidebooks suggest bad weather, not feeling right, turn back and just do the two Munro. So I will make that call when I get to the Horns. So the path is quite distinct, following the west side of the burn. Show you a little bit of a pano. I think that's the just peeking out the side there are the edge of the Horns. Going to be some good views today, hopefully. It's a sunshine and cloud forecast. It seems to rise quite quickly there. There's people ahead. I'm expecting, because we're starting very low down, almost sea level, I'm expecting it, and it's relatively short walk, so I'm expecting it to rise quite quickly. I'm looking up at Sgurr there and just wonder how on earth you get across that gully to get to the top. That looks impossible from here, but maybe the angle we're at. Just to confirm, the path does rise rather quickly, as I expected it would, looking down the valley. It's a good path though, so that's the main thing, good navigation. Looks like there's a crowd gathered at the top. Tom Gruagaich. I'm saying that all wrong, I know I am. Might have to queue to get to the trig point. So here we are, Tom Gruagaich. So over there, I've got the Isle of Skye in the distance. So next week, the mighty Sgurr, and they're the Horns of Alligan. I've just been chatting with a guide who's taking some people over there, and I'm a bit worried because he's got helmets and ropes. Bit of a scramble down here, and skirting round to the col between the two, and the path doesn't look too bad. You just got to be careful getting down this rock side. The scenery today is absolutely breathtaking. It's absolutely stunning. So I'm looking back at Tom Gruagaich, and that's one mighty climb. Apparently it was only reinstated as a Munro in 1997, so all I can imagine is that they've remeasured it and found the gap between the bottom of this col and the top was sufficient to call it a Munro, because it's certainly high enough, unless they've remeasured the bottom of the col, of course there is that. So this is the final push now, Sgurr. Definite path. The big gully that you could see down in the valley, when I was looking up thinking, how on earth do you get across that? If you look, the path nips around the back of it. It zigzags around the back of it, so you don't have to. The views today get better and better and better. Now apparently that's the way down. No, no kidding. This is stunning. This is the gully when I was at the bottom, saying I've no idea how I'm going to get across that. Sgurr. Wow, this is amazing. Look at these views, absolutely stunning. There's down there, they're the Horns of Alligan. Stunning, absolutely amazing. I'm looking at the Horns, and as much as I want to do them, I've no helmet, All the people ahead who've gone off, they've all got helmets and whatnot. I'm on my own. I'm inexperienced in terms of scrambling. It does look tricky. I prefer to live another day, I think. Yeah, I'm going to retrace my steps and go that way back. Retracing your steps might be the safer option, but it does mean you've got to climb back over Gruagaich, first Munro. So got a bit of a scramble to get up there. I seem to remember coming down it. Hey ho. So there's Gruagaich, and here's the col and the cairn the other side of it, which marks the top of the steep ascent or descent, whichever way you're going. So we've got a path, a very well walked path, all the way down back to the sea. So it's a long way down from here. Hi, welcome to day 43 of my Munro challenge. Today I walked route number 43, Sunday the 12th of September. I parked at a car park 3 kilometres west of Torridon, down a very tiny little lane. So what can I say? Wow, fabulous, breathtaking, amazing. You know, you just keep going on. Today was one of those very special days. So from the car park, I followed the footpath to the west of the burn. Very well trodden footpath. Lots and lots of erosion control. In fact, they're still building it. Almost impossible to get lost. Certainly to the first top. It does gain its height very quickly, but you are starting from pretty much sea level, and it is a short walk. So you're doing nothing but either going up or going down. Once you're at the col, there's a big cairn there, and it's easy to see the top. Although the descent from the first Munro, from the top, is rather tricky. It's you got to kind of scramble, although there is a better path I found on my way back. If you head back towards the col that you've just come up to, and head down the side of the col, the other side of the col, there's a footpath that runs underneath the side of the Munro, and it wraps round to the col between the first and second Munro, which is quite a good footpath, and it does save an awful lot of scrambling. The climb to the second Munro is very easy, very straightforward, decent path, nothing too difficult at all really. The conundrum of the gully, because as you're approaching from the bottom and looking up at everything in all its glory, you can see a huge gully cutting the peak in half almost, and you just wonder how on earth are you going to get across it. Well, obviously once you get up there and you see the footpath wraps around the back of the gully quite nicely, so it's not intimidating at all. So there I was, sat at the top of the second Munro, looking down at the Horns of Aragon. I sat there, must have been half an hour, taking in the views, having a sandwich, just enjoying the day, and also having an internal debate with myself as to whether to carry on over the Horns or just retrace my steps. Ultimately I decided to retrace my steps, predominantly because I felt unsafe on my own, and I thought it was an unnecessary risk on my own without helmets and etc., because it did look particularly tricky, and the guidebook explains it as being particularly tricky. So It took a while for me to get there because my heart wanted me to go down over the horns and my head was saying no, stay safe. And ultimately the aim of my challenge is to complete the Munros as safely as I possibly can. So that was probably the right decision. The day was quite short in terms of mileage. It was 6.5 miles, although the going was difficult. So the time was 5.5 hours. So quite a long time to do 6.5 miles. And that's mainly down to the steepness and the terrain. And there was 4,018 feet of climbing. The day was superb, though the views were stunning. You saw the rest of the Torridon Ridge. You can see the horns of Alligan, and when you look out to sea, you can see the Isle of Skye and indeed other islands beyond that. I couldn't even begin to name. Fabulous day.